Welcome to Uzi Talking to with me, Jeff Ollerhead and Danny Jones. Uzi. Danny Jones is a paramedic, rugby player, and he's got some really good stories to tell. Thanks for coming here today.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Obviously you're in the thick of it, which we'll talk about later on in the interview. We'll get straight into the old COVID conspiracies.
Yeah.
But first of all, tell us about, where you grew up.
Local lad, local Morton lad, born and bred, lived in the Cross, moved away from Morton about, 14, 15 years ago with work, up to Manchester, up around that way, still there now.
Still there, the slight Manchester tone accent.
I'm not sure.
Fantalk, better.
Sunshine.
So, okay, so straight away in school, Henry Mells, was that Wallasey
Yeah,
School?
Henry Mells, first year of Wallasey School, I think I was, 1988. Going back a bit now, actually.
And what did you have in mind to be? What would you want to be?
No idea. I had no idea at all what I wanted to do. Just kind of got quite into rugby at school. Didn't do that well at school, to be fair. Sort of lovable rogue, maybe. Just messing about through school. Got my head down in the last year and got some grades, but it was just rugby for me.
Rugby, eh? So, the norm around here was football. What was the difference between rugby and football with you?
Even my old fella called me an egg chaser when I started. I don't know. You get, when you're born, you get a football around here, don't you? You get given a football. I played a bit of football. I enjoyed it, but just rugby kind of ticked the box, and I just enjoyed it. Got half decent at it.
Got to get you right into half decent indeed, because you played for, what was the biggest club you played for?
So I played for Birkenhead Park and New Brighton around there. Sort of plied my trade initially at New Brighton for most of my career, but probably most enjoyable time was I left about when I was 25, 26. I left New Brighton, was playing first team there, and moved to Birkenhead Park, and Birkenhead lads had a solid.
So was that a rivalry, is it, yeah?
Oh yeah, it was massive, yeah. It was but the Birkenhead lads are a solid.
Different breed.
Oh, the good lads. Still mates with them.
Straight away with rugby, because where did rugby, because I always ask this, where did rugby start? How did it start?
Well, I played rugby union, and it was a public. It's a very public school game, isn't it? Not some of the places I've been, and played. It's not public school there, but it's meant to. I think it's Webb Ellis, isn't he? He's meant to have picked the ball up and ran during a game of football. I'm not sure how that would work now.
So you can imagine someone playing football, he's picked the ball
and then
up,
some fella decides to pick it up and run with it instead. You'd just give him a kick, wouldn't you? But
it's the old, it's like the old tribe, like murder ball.
Yeah.
In the army they played murder ball, which is similar to rugby.
Yeah.
Do you find though with American football, what do you think about that with rugby?
Well, they wear pads, don't they?
They wear pads.
They wear pads and helmets. You know what I mean? It's just rugby's, but not so much for the backs, because they're all good-looking lads and all doing fast and don't get dirty. But in the forwards, it's just 80 minutes of pretending not to be hurt, really. And
yeah. That's amazing, that, because obviously there's always, you get a lot of like British people saying, "Oh, American football." They're like, they're like wussies putting pads on when they're just playing rugby. Realistically.
Oh yeah, I mean, some incidents, I remember just 80 minutes pretty much fighting with one fella, big juice head doorman, just toe to toe, collar to collar, bang, 80 minutes. And then sort of, I think the difference is...
What, the referee gets sent off, or simbing, or...?
I think he threatened it once, but, the ref can't see everything, can he? And the thing I'd say enjoy about it, I used to respect about it a lot, is you'd literally be assaulting people. You'd be punching people and getting punched yourself and getting kicked and really trying to hurt people. But then as soon as that whistle goes, after 80 minutes, the fella you've been knocking 10 bells out of, you walk up and shake his hand, and then half an hour later you're sitting in the bar having a pint with him. There's never any afters. I can't remember any afters, really. So
that's the thing, there's a saying, is that rugby is a game of hooligans, a game for hooligans.
Played by gentlemen.
Where football is a game for gentlemen, watched by hooligans. No, so moving on swiftly, so you got your rugby down to a T. That's all you want to. Do you ever get like sort of scouted to play for any of
Some
them?
county stuff, and yeah, I played at Sale for me and another local lad, Carl Porsky. Yeah, he's a good lad, good player. We ended up going to Sale for a few months, playing there. Haywood Road, scored 2 against Leicester. But yeah.
What was your position again? What was it?
I was back row.
Back row.
Yeah.
Sitting
As
at the
you
back
can,
row.
you can tell by the repeated punches in the face I've had in my life.
Was that like in the scrum when you go in?
Yeah, just at the back of the scrum there, yeah.
I've seen people that they break their necks in them scrums sometimes.
I've seen it, I've played it. A couple of my mates have broke their neck. Yeah. But they're still here, they're doing alright.
Yeah. No, they're alright. It's just a little scratch.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. But you get an uppercut in the scrum. So then, being a paramedic, how did that come about?
I just fell into it, mate, really. I never even thought of doing it. Never even considered it. Just I was one of these people who just notices an ambulance go past you on the street. That never thought about what they do, anything like that. So I went to university to play rugby. That was it. But apparently you have to do a degree when you're at uni. So, I think mine was in drinking. Drinking, because I can't really remember the work. But I did sports science and human biology, just because I enjoyed it. And I was there to play rugby, and that was it. And I came out and went back to doing what I was doing, just a bit of labouring and playing rugby and getting paid for that. And I thought my life was alright, but I've got a couple of older sisters, and one of them's quite clever and studious, and she said, you need a career. And she rang me up one day. I was putting ridge tiles on the roof, and first mobile phones, good job I was on the roof, and I'd never got a signal otherwise, would I? And she rang me up and said, she said to me, do you want to be a paramedic in Manchester? And I just went, yeah, whatever. I'm a bit busy.
Yeah.
And then it was, went up there for an interview, some tests and stuff, and 6 months later I was on a paramedic course.
So the test, so let me suppose, because obviously it seemed very lackadaisical, like, what was the test consist? Was like, what, maths, English and
stuff?
So
there was like a written test and like a numeracy, like a maths test, and there was a fitness test. I mean, I don't know if you've seen many paramedics, the bar of the fitness test wasn't that high. It was just a little step test, and I was playing professional rugby at the time, semi-professional rugby, wasn't I? So, and then just some group work, discussions, meeting, a big meeting thing with people watching you. And I finished the day, I had no idea, just left. Got a letter about 6 weeks later saying I was on a 12-week residential course in Manchester.
Boom, gets in.
Right,
on the wrong to wait. So when you done this course, it was in Manchester,
Yeah.
Did you meet any, what people did you meet in it? Was it?
It was all sorts, yeah. It was Monday to Friday residential, staying over, but I don't know if it's because of my uni stuff, doing sort of human biology and all that. I didn't find it particularly difficult, and I'd do the work in the day. And there was another lad who was on the course who still does the job now. There's not many of us left. He was a mortician, so he found the anatomy and stuff quite easy. So we used to finish the day about 4:30, get you 3 square meals a day.
Yeah.
And you're in like digs, and we just walked the pub about 5:30, 6. Couple of pints, game of pool.
Stand the schooling.
Yeah,
it's cool, but hands on though. I mean, when did your eyes open thinking this is real?
Yeah. So you'd be on your course, and it's all you sat in the classrooms, just scenarios.
Yeah, scenarios.
Like blokes falling off a ladder onto a spike or blah. And it's just a dummy, isn't it? It's just a doll. But then near the end of your course, you go out. You go out on the road and you go out with other crews and you sit in the back. And then I remember the 2 people I went out with, Kath and Gordy, both still in the job. And I remember sitting in the back of the ambulance like that in Salford on a night shift. Like, shit. Wow. My first job comes through. There's real people now, we're dealing with real people. And, there's the funny jobs and the stuff that makes you laugh, but there's a lot of serious jobs out there you have to deal with.
I don't want to go too deep with it because obviously that's one of the questions. No, what's the worst thing you've seen?
Yeah, I mean it's a stock question you get all the time, isn't it? And I've been doing it 18 years now. I've been in, so And people still say to me, you know, what's the worst thing you've seen? So you just stick back with dead babies, don't you? Dead babies, which is horrible.
I know, but you've got to live with it, you know.
But you know, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to be there to do that job, haven't they? I've seen horrific things.
As you said to me, I mean, if you go to, you know, with the road traffic accidents, you know, there's limbs missing, there's all sorts, there's blood everywhere. How do you cope with that? Does it change your stomach?
And when you deal with it and you're confident and you arrive at the incident itself, you kind of go into a bit of an automatic pilot. Yeah. You're focused on. It sounds awful. I try not to see the person as a person. You see them as a problem, and see how do I solve this problem. You get your observations. What's wrong with them? Can I fix them? What can I do? So, someone's lying there screaming. I'm not really interested. I mean, until a lad who jumped off a bridge not long ago, broke his legs. Just get him sedated, give him pain relief, pull his legs straight, package him up, and let's get him to a hospital. You don't go into his story. Why has he done it? You know, I'm not asking his name. I don't know him. He's nothing to do with me. I suppose that's a good thing, really, that I work so far away from where I grew up.
Yeah.
That the chances of me dealing with someone who I know personally are quite slim, and maybe it would be a different thing, but you know.
That's professionalism, you know. It's good. I mean, I'm not trying to like draw something which what the audience wants to think, and if this is gory and what, but realistically, you're on a winner straight away, because obviously you're seeing everything as like a robot. I've got to do this, got to do that.
I think it's. I mean, first you don't. Yeah. You come into the job, and first few months you're bricking it, you see yourself, and you're like, well, and then you sort of get this confidence and this arrogance, and I still see it today with people that after about a year, 18 months, 2 years, think you know everything. I've been there, seen it, done it, and then you'll get a job, and your arse will go. You don't know what to do, and someone's dying in front of you, and you're like, whoa, and you panic. But over time, you sort of. It's very difficult if you don't do the job, and you don't. It's very difficult to put it across that they're not a person. It's a problem. Can I solve the problem? No. Have I saved someone's life? I've saved hundreds of people's lives. Hundreds.
Yeah, thousands.
Have I watched people die? Yes, hundreds. Have I been there with people dying? Yeah. You know, I held a fella's hand once. He said, "I'm going to die." I knew he was. There's nothing I could do. We were on our way in the back of a motor, and he had a ruptured aneurysm.
The aneurysm was like a bleed.
So one of his arteries had burst in his abdomen.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to die, and he pulled me in and said, "How
old was he?
He was probably in his 70s.
Yeah.
But you know, he's on his own, isn't he? And he said, "I'm going to die," and you give it the old. No, you'll be fine, you know, don't worry. And then he kind of pulled me into him and said, "No, I'm going to die." And I went, "Alright, yeah." He said, "Will you hold my hand?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I will." And I held his hand, and I held his hand till he let go of mine. So when he died, yeah.
Do you know what? That's the thing. This is the normal day. You know, this is what you do.
It is. It is. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not. It's not like that every day. Well, I say it's not. It is. Yeah, it is like that every day.
So any advice people that want to be like a paramedic because they think it's a good job, what would you say to like, what would you?
It is a good job, you know. Would I want my kids to do it? No. Straight away, no. You see some great people. You do great work, don't you? But your job is to go to people every day who are having the worst day of their life, and you can't save everyone. You know, have I saved hundreds? Yeah, I've seen hundreds die. I see dead bodies nearly every day. Nearly every day. I'm walking into families. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. They've died, and then you have to deal with their grief, and it just becomes the norm, unfortunately.
Well, you must be gifted, you know, because a lot of people go straight away. That's why we give credit to people like yourselves when like they're clapping up the NHS.
Yeah,
and sincerely, you know, it's a brave thing to do because you're doing this. This is your life.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I just see it. It's
Heroes.
It's my job.
Yeah.
It's just my job. You know, that's what it is. It's just my job.
And obviously the other part of this, you know, with I always used to say Fridays and Saturdays, you know, when the drinking is that,
Yeah,
is that
the cool. Well, I mean,
being in town in Manchester.
yeah.
Before all this COVID, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day when we could
Yeah.
go out and go on
Yeah.
a pint, them were the days.
That was that.
You come back, open up pubs, Boris. So, yeah, weekend nights. We work a block of weekend nights. Thursday,
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Are they busier than any other night? No, the answer's no, really. Every night's the same. You know, you're going to go to people on drugs, people drunk, people assaulted, people stabbed, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
There's not like big change like a Saturday, Friday.
To be honest, Friday and Saturday,
Yeah.
you might get someone passed out drunk on the floor. That's an easy job.
Yeah.
That's an easy job to deal with. You pick them up, you put them on a bed, you check them over, and then you just take them in and let them sleep it off. It's an easy job. You're not. Someone's not trying to kill you. Someone doesn't want to punch you in the head. You know, you're not dealing with someone who's been stabbed or shot or hung themselves or RTCs. You know, it's an easy job. The drunk.
So the thing is, you know, have you been like threatened with your life? Have you had an instant where you're thinking this is
I
getting
I got assaulted by two fellas once. I'm not. Bear in mind, I used to quite enjoy fighting and rugby.
Yeah.
I was all right at it as well. You know what I mean?
getting paid legally?
Legally to beat people up. So I went to to a job in Fallowfield, and there was two brothers. They weren't youngsters, but older than me, probably sort of 50. Both one was being sick, and he thought it was blood, and it wasn't. It was just booze. Just had too much to drink, really. And I was working with a mate of mine, and they didn't like. I think they just wanted to lift home in the ambulance, really. And we kind of told them that wasn't going to happen. And the two of them jumped on me and started throwing some digs and that. Yeah.
Well, did you just keep you cool, or did you have to?
Not really, mate. No, I just threw some back.
Right. Back in the thick of this, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. My mate had one on the floor and said, "Don't get up, because he's going to rip your arms off if you get up." And then the police came and chucked him in the back of the van.
So the rugby came in use then, if you think about it.
The mist descended. But it was fine. I'd rather people kick off on me than other people in the service. You know what I mean? I don't mind it.
That's a brilliant way to look now.
Yeah, if someone's going to get angry with someone, I'd rather it be me than some 25-year-old lad who's going to scar for life. My scars are already there.
Have you seen obviously with your colleagues coming off jobs and you think, oh, what's happened there, and they're injured as well?
Well, people get up, especially more recently, sort of last 5-6 years. Because when you come in, you're the new lad.
Yeah.
You know, I remember being the new lad, and then you're kind of in the middle. But when you join, there's always like the old fellas, the old arses who've been in forever. I'm one of them now.
Yeah.
I'm the bloke who's been in nearly 20 years, and you're getting kids coming from uni, all clever. Got no life experience. You know, invariably, let's think about it. You know, they've come from more than likely a middle class background. They've done well at school. They've gone to university. Everyone enjoys himself there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then they come straight out on the road. They've not had the time to learn to talk to people. They've just been in a little circle of friends. They've never seen an angry man. They've never talked that. They walk into a room with a mental health patient who's got a knife. They don't know what to say, do they? You learn these skills over time.
That's picking your brains then. So you're coming across, say, someone with a knife, right? So you come to an instance, which I think if you talk about, and someone's been stabbed and someone's there with a knife, the police are not there. Do you got to disarm them, or do you talk them?
It's pretty good, really. So if you go into stabbing, shootings, domestic violence, assaults, they usually tell you where the attacker is. Yeah. Because someone's rang up, haven't they? Someone's rang up for us to be there. And one of the first questions they ask is, where's the attacker? And sometimes it's unknown. They could be there, they could not. I mean, most people who stab people don't hang around to sort of see what's happening. They scarp, don't they? But been sort of assaults and people are still there. You're wearing a uniform, which automatically gives you some to most people gives you some form of sort of respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They respect you. Don't get me wrong, people
Yeah.
don't want you sometimes. I had a fella come at me with a sword once.
Yeah.
It was just tipped away from him. He ended up getting mauled by a police dog.
Samurai sword.
Yeah, that's what it was, mate. Yeah, he took an overdose, and as we went into his flat, he come out of his room with a samurai sword. Said, "Whoa, back up, I'm going out." Yeah.
We'll talk later on with some of the drugs now on the streets. They don't realistically know about, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to talk more. Thank you very much. Stand by for part 2 with me, Jeff, and Danny. Take care.